Hey everybody, welcome to MLM Unlimited, where we talk about an unlimited number of MLM tips, tricks, concepts, and ideas. We also do interviews, if you didn't notice. I'm Michael, and this is Charlene. It's the first time we've said that. We've done a few interviews now, and that's the first time we've mentioned our name, so I want to make sure we put that out there. Today, we are doing another interview, and we have David Lee on the call with us. How are you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Busy day.
Yes.
I understand.
Always a good time when you stay busy. If you want to go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and a little bit about your business.
So, like you said, my name is David Lee. I married, have 4 kids. So, definitely father of 4, stay busy, with that. So, kids ages range from 5 to about 10 and a half. So, he definitely goes to that, need for a secondary source of income. So, which is always appealing about the industry. Just kind of quickly, my background, I went to school like most people, went to college, got a degree to get a job with benefits and that sort of path, it's what kind of everybody did. And, just kind of what I did. And, I actually loved my job that I had. My background is in writing and magazines. So I'm a writer, editor, and I got to, I've got to meet and interview several hundred professional athletes. It was in sports and sports collectibles. So it was really cool. But, after about 7 years of that job, I got laid off. And my wife and I had 3 kids at the time. My son was 3 months old. So my wife stayed at home with the kids. So there we were with no full-time income and 3 kids. And, in a lot of ways, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it really forced me to really reconsider sources of income. And it really kind of slapped me in the face that I needed to find some sources of income that I controlled and that I owned. So, not long after that, I had been introduced to the industry, to the network marketing industry, a few years before that, but it really kind of hit home and really kind of made me realize I need to be looking for something that I own. So, not long after that, I found the opportunity that I've been building, for the past several years. So, that's kind of where I came from.
So is this the first network marketing business that you've actually started, or you said you'd been introduced before, but?
Yeah, I was introduced really, I would say probably about 12 or 13 years ago. I can't remember what it was. My wife and I had kind of was introduced that way and did that for a while. It was a product-based business, and I actually ordered products from them for a long time. But that was kind of my first really experience with it, to really try it. Back then it was kind of one of those things that I looking back at it, I just kind of treated it like a hobby, wasn't serious enough about it. So that was really how I was really introduced to it. I had known about it. My mom had done some things, direct sales, type things, but that was really my first kind of official introduction.
So how long have you had the business that you have now?
I'm coming up on my 5-year anniversary. So 5 years with this business that I started. Yeah, it was 5 years ago, I think at the end of June.
And awesome. Do you have lots of people on your team, or? I mean, you don't have to tell us the exact number, but if you want to round.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not enormous, but I think actually doing something, that's actually building, right. So I think I'm creeping close to about 300, business, kind of business partners. So. I focus a lot more on just running with the people who want to run, who want to build, right, and helping people really get wherever they want to get. I mean, I've worked with people who just want to make, $200 or $300 a month. That's it. to help with their car payment or to help send their kid to preschool. And I've worked with other people who want to quit a second job or who want to, have their spouse stay home with the kids, kind of like what wife and I do. But it's really kind of spanned that spectrum.
Well, 300 is definitely nothing to shy away from. So there's plenty.
Yeah, it's been consistent. It's been very part-time for me. It's been very part-time, which is what I wanted. It's allowed my wife to stay home with the kids, and that's what we wanted. And that's what we were after. And, it's that's what it's been for me, which I kind of, I kind of think that reflects most people, most people's goals.
Right.
So you said that you were introduced to network marketing before. What made you choose the business that you're in now over the other ones?
At the time when I found this, I came from kind of a pretty unique perspective because, I've worked with a lot of companies. Like I said, my background is in writing and editing and also marketing. So I've worked with a lot of companies from a third-party aspect, helping them create marketing materials and magazines and things like that. So I knew I didn't want to mess with any products, and that's just me. I don't have any. We're service-based, so I knew I didn't. We're absolutely one of the fastest-growing companies in the industry, and also really in the country. So I was kind of watching them do this from a third-party perspective and thinking, man, I need to jump on this,
Right.
So that's kind of what finally made me, it kind of woke me up. I was like, this is what you've been looking for, this is it. It's right there in front of your face.
So you said you work part-time.
Mm-hmm.
So about how many hours a week do you put towards building your team and your business?
I would say now I'm probably an average of about anywhere from, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 hours a week, sometimes 15. I mean, depending on what we have going on, depending on if there's events or, I just got off a call, with a guy looking at the business. I was on the phone with him for about 20 minutes, before we started this. So I would say on average it's that, and it's throughout my day. I do it every day. It's sometimes in the morning, sometimes during the day, at night. I just kind of see, I've got a whiteboard that I keep track of things and just kind of see where my focus needs to be for the week.
Okay. What do you think is one tool or trick that you do that you feel helps build your business? Is it, do you work off of Twitter, or do you just meet people out in town, something that's business related, some tool that your business has?
I think it's, I do, I definitely do some online marketing, which that just kind of plays to my strengths. So that's something that I really have learned throughout my career, just kind of as a writer and a communicator. That's just kind of my background. So I have used that, and I definitely think it can be very powerful. Just try. It's honestly really just working the business every day and really treating it like a business. I don't care if that's online, offline, warm market, cold market, using tools or, live local events. I think the key for me has been just treating it like a business and just working it consistently every day. And that takes a little while to get used to. You just have to make it a habit and make it part of your routine. If I go a day without doing something with my business, it just feels weird. So that's what it's been for me.
Awesome.
So when you started your business, do they do some kind of training to teach you, or do you do training with your team?
Absolutely. We get people started. We have a team training page, and it's really a one-stop shop to help them get started. And what we do, and what I'm a big proponent of, is helping people get started in their first 24 to 48 hours, telling them exactly what they need to do and showing them how to do it, so that they, number one, are accomplishing something. So they're accomplishing some tasks. And we really focus on helping them get paid in their next week. We have weekly bonuses, weekly, kind of upfront bonuses. So that's what we focus on. So we definitely have, we've got a great, they're short but effective, training videos, and we have kind of a quick start sheet, kind of a worksheet that we go through with them, step by step, really to help them get going right away. And of course, we have ongoing trainings, but in terms of getting started, that's what we focus on to help people get started.
Okay. Well, what if you were talking to, like, a lot of the people that watch this, they come from a bunch of different network marketing or multi-level marketing companies. What is one tip that you could give to other people to, to keep them motivated, to get them focused on their business? Like you said, it takes an everyday action. So what's something that you think would keep people motivated to do that?
I think it's a combination of a couple of things. Number one, I think it's just to take action. I think so many people in this industry, they lose the head game, right? That they lose to those voices in their head. I actually just did a Periscope about this today, about overcoming, your fear of objection, and the fact that I think that what most people fear is not rejection. It's the fear of looking stupid, or the fear of that you don't know what you're doing. But in this business, it's learn as you go. So take action and learn along the way, right? It's just like a kid learning how to ride a bike. You just learn, you got to go out there and do it. That's how you're going to learn. You don't need a doctorate degree in the business before you actually go out there and talk to people and take action. So that would be kind of my number one, is to just start doing it and trust that you'll learn as you go. And the second thing that I think is tied to that, and that really can't be separated from that, is to plug into your team and to learn from those people who have done it. Learn from those people who are where you want to be, because they've been down that path.
Right.
I think people's perspectives, get out of whack, because what they think it's going to be like, they judge on that. Instead of just understanding and talking to the people that have been there before and say, hey, when I ran into that roadblock, this is the way through it or around it, because they've been there. So, as you're taking action, you've got to be coachable, and you've got to learn from those that have done it. Right. So those two things, I think, have to go together, and that's what I would say is most important to get going.
So with the being coachable and everything, and your business, they do provide training and things like that. And of course, that's what your sponsors and your uplines for. Do you recommend going to other places to get training, like from other network marketing guys, Eric Worre, for example, or Ray Higdon, anybody like that?
Learning from those coaches and trainers who focus on the best practices, like I was saying, sort of kind of overall industry best practices, absolutely. Anybody who starts to take some action in my business and who starts to really show that they're coachable and that are working with us, I always recommend GoPro, Eric Worre's book. I have the CD set in my truck. I have about 10 copies of the book and the CD set at my desk at home. And I'll just mail it to them, right? I'll just say, hey, I'm sending you a book in the mail. Definitely, sit down and read it. It's a very quick read. It's absolutely, I think, the most practical book in the industry right now. And in terms of the online coaching, yes, Ray's great at it. Cesar Rodriguez and his wife Tanya are great. They focus more online, which kind of plays to my strengths anyway. But yeah, anything that I find that I think will help my team, and especially based on whatever they're specifically struggling with at the moment, I'll absolutely recommend just more industry trainers and coaches.
Right. It's funny you mentioned GoPro. We actually just did a blog post about that just the other day. And and that is on our book of the week that we just started yesterday. So definitely check that out. The blog also MLMunlimited.com, and you're good. What's
Nice.
had to put that quick plug in there, you know.
So with sponsoring people, what have you found the easiest way to sponsor somebody?
Do you mean bringing them into the business or helping a new person get started?
To join your team.
Well, you know, I love the approach to just ask people if they're open to taking a look. That might be if they're open to taking a look at making some extra money, if they're open to seeing what I do to generate, you know, residual income for my family. So whatever that relationship I have with them, or if it's somebody that I just met, you know, I flew to LA a few weeks ago to cover an event for a client of mine, but the guy next to me on the plane, you know, my company offers service in Ohio. The guy next to me on the plane was from Dallas, but he has family in Ohio, and I just struck up some conversation with him, and I just said, hey, you know, I have a business that we have, you know, we're opening up some business in Ohio, and I said I would love to make some connections in Ohio. So I kind of put him on a pedestal, like letting him know that, hey, you've got connections, and I would love, you know, any connections in Ohio. And I just said, hey, if, you know, if I sent you, you know, a link to a video that kind of shows you what I do so that you have an understanding, would you watch it? And he said, yeah. You know, so just that kind of approach, just saying less, don't just talk less, take yourself out of it. If your company has a tool, use a tool. If it's a magazine, use the magazine. If it's a video, use the video. Just see if people are open to taking a look, because I like the words, are you open to, because that's harder to say no to. Most people want to come across as being open. So that's, to me, that's harder to say no to. So you're just seeing who's interested. And that's and we use a video, you know, in our business. So we just have people take a look at it and see what they like best.
So I have a question, because we've done so many interviews, and I've heard where they'll be out in public, and you're at a restaurant and you just give somebody your card or something. Is that something you do? So when you're out with your family at a restaurant, do you ask the waiter or the waitress, you know, are they open to look at something or whatever? Is that something that you do too?
You know, I don't give my card to anybody unless they give me their number. I try to make it a goal of exchanging numbers, because I always want to be in control, because I know I will call them. The chances of them calling me are slim to none.
Okay.
So, you know, yes, I've absolutely, you know, exchanged numbers with people just kind of out there that I've run into, or, you know, places that I kind of go somewhat regularly. And I see the same people there, you know, that are working there. No, I've definitely done that, but I would say the key there is to always be in control of your business, and make sure that you get their number, and ask them, you know, would it be okay if I called you, or would you be open to, you know, exchanging numbers? So, you know, however you do it, however it makes sense for you to do it, but definitely get their number so that you're calling them back.
Gotcha. So, do you prefer a cold market, or do you prefer contacting a warm market?
That's the $1 million question.
Exactly.
You know, there's positives and negatives, I think, with both of them. You just gotta, it just goes back to getting out there and doing it. There's, you know, warm market has been good and bad. You know, the good side of it is that people, for the most part, the people that know you most are at least open to doing you a favor, and just at worst taking a look at your business and maybe referring some people to you. Right. On the other hand, if you're not a traditional business owner, they know that, and you know, sometimes people that know you aren't necessarily you know, going to make great business partners. Cold market, yeah, the positives of that I've found is that, man, if you just keep it simple and just say less, and just seeing if people are open to taking a look at something, man, that's money. That's, and like I said, at the very worst, if they say no, that's fine.
So I've always said, you're not contacting a cold market. You take a cold market and you make them at least lukewarm by talking to them, and you have a little bit of a casual conversation with them. And there was somebody I heard at a conference, and I never remember names very well. But he said, you have to find common ground before you can go to higher ground. And that's kind of what I try and do, is find something that you can connect with. And I've just started using Twitter and things and Facebook. And, I always look for people. I'll come up with something like, I'm a University of Michigan fan. So I'll go over there and start talking with people just to create the casual conversation, get me used to talking to people without bringing up the business. And I love network marketing, regardless of what business you're in. I love it. So it's extremely difficult for me to not bring up business, because if I don't control myself now, I start talking faster and faster, and I get really amped up, and then I won't be able to. So that's been one of my things, is when you talk to people, whether it's cold market or warm market, is trying to calm myself down to be able to have a casual conversation so they don't get weirded out really quickly.
No, I've been there. You know your perspective of it and your excitement of it, and it's hard to. You just want other people to see what you see.
Exactly.
I completely understand, but I'm right there with you with cold market. Is that I've got a long-term perspective. I've been in this business for 5 years. And I'm not somebody to quit something quickly. So I will build a relationship over weeks and months before I, number one, to see if I would even want that person in my business.
Exactly.
There are people that I don't want in my business, so yeah, I definitely, building relationships to me is invaluable, because you never know where that's going to take you, and you never know how you're going to be able to help each other. And to me, that's just been invaluable. So yeah, building those relationships first, and like you said, making the cold market the warm market is definitely a big deal.
Right. See, you've got company in there.
Sorry, my daughter walked in.
We should have a daughter.
Yeah, that's my youngest. She's walked in.
Yeah. Well, if you want to get rid of her, you can always send her to Florida, because we don't make girls, and I'll gladly take a girl.
We barely make boys, so we just got one.
We can trade.
Anyway.
That's true. True. You guys have like a defensive backfield, though, or an infield in baseball.
Yeah, we've almost got a starting five, that's for basketball, but, we're both short, so that would never happen.
Okay, so back to the questions, I guess. So what platform do you use more than others to build your business? Is it like Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat?
In terms of the social media platforms, I would say Facebook is number one. Just because there's so many people on Facebook, and if you do it right, and again, that goes back to developing relationships on Facebook. That's what Facebook exists for. Right. Is relationships. Facebook is not a, hey, look at my business. There was a time when you had to be a college student to be on Facebook.
Right.
That's where it came from. It's just making connections with people, but there's so many people on it, and with Facebook shifting to video, the focus on video, I think that's huge for us, and for even just home business owners who want to market themselves. If you do it right, and if you actually spend time trying to develop relationships, and not just plastering your business all over the place. But if you use it right, I would say my number one is Facebook.
Okay.
What is one piece of advice that you would give to somebody just starting out in any business, a multi-level
marketing?
What he said, business.
Oh my God, you can't just say that.
Well, it might be direct sales. Some of them aren't multi-level. Some are party plan, or
There you go.
right. The one piece of advice I would give people is going back to treating it like a business. You've got to know what you want out of it and why. We talk a lot about the why in this business, and it's true. I mean, anybody who started a business did it for a strong reason, especially if they invested. I mean, if you're starting a big business out there, you're investing money. In this industry, you're not investing a lot of money. You're just investing some consistent time and consistent effort. So you've got to just treat it like a business. Don't treat it like a hobby. Know what you want out of it and know why you're doing it. Make sure your reason is strong, because your business is not going to outgrow your why. Your income's not going to surpass your reason for doing it. You guys have 4 kids. I have 4 kids. I mean, I'm not going to quit on my family, right? I'm not going to quit on them. So, mix those together. To me, I can't rank those. They're all part of each other, the why and treating it like a business. So, that's what I would definitely tell people.
All right. So we ask business owners that we interview a question, or we ask them to ask a question that we can put out there. So we have a few questions that other people that we've interviewed have asked. So we're going to ask you those now, and then it'll be your turn. And I have them written down because I'll never remember. What do you think of when you first hear the term network marketing?
I think of relationships. I think of leveraging relationships and working together as a team. That's what it is to me. It's people developing relationships and working together as a team to help each other reach their goals.
Okay.
What do you think is the biggest fear of people actually joining a network marketing business?
I don't know if their fear is joining. I think it's, like I said earlier, it's people's fear is in looking stupid. They're afraid of being embarrassed. They're afraid of what other people are going to think. They're afraid of, they don't know how to do it. I think that's their fear. But that's where keeping it simple is important. So showing them that it's simple and that they can do it and that it's duplicatable, I think addresses that. So at the core, I think that's what people are really afraid of.
Okay. And I kind of have a suspicion where you're going to go with this one, but people that join and then they quit relatively quickly or within a year, because in this business and all network marketing, direct sales, whatever, you can build quick, but you've got to stay in for the long haul or you're never going to have any real income, in my opinion. Like, I don't see it. So people that stop building a business within a year and just basically quit altogether, what do you think is the number one reason that people quit?
I think the number one reason people quit is because they don't give themselves time to develop the mindset of a business owner. People want the growth and the money, but unless you grow along with it, it's not going to stay. Like Eric Worre says all the time, that your income will never surpass where you are as a person. And it might for a little while, but you've got to give yourself time to grow, just like you have to give your business time to grow. And that's what I see. The people who quit, life starts to happen, just like it did before the excitement wore off, and they never gave themselves time to train and be coached and to grow. And that's when they quit, because life has happened and they're busy and their kids have activities and they got church stuff and family stuff, and well, you had that stuff before you before you joined, you know. So that's it for me, is that they just don't give themselves time to develop that mindset.
Yeah, and love him or hate him, Donald Trump, I've heard it said that, you know, he's a billionaire. If he ever went back down and lost everything and only had $1 million, he will quickly become a billionaire again, because he's got a billionaire's mindset. He no longer has a millionaire mindset. So
Right.
I'd have to agree. You got to have your mind able to comprehend and able to accomplish receiving that type of money and building that big of a team. And it's not even just the money, it's the team, it's the everything.
Yeah.
You can't build yourself up to be a leader. Nobody's going to follow you.
Yeah. And that's what you think of, like, you know, let's say there was fast growth and it grew fast and things were happening. Would you be able to handle it?
Right. I guess that's it from us. So now it's your turn to ask any question. We'll post it out, see what people have to say, and go from there.
Well, I guess one thing that always is very important to me, that I think a lot of people who, you know, probably quit the business too early, that they never get to experience, is all the stuff outside of the business that you learn, the relationships that you build, you know, just kind of learning those entrepreneurial type mindset and skills. And, you know, so, you know, I don't know if I could really pose it in the form of a question, but or maybe it's just, you know, what are the top things that have been most important to you that you've learned outside of just the core business and the income, and you know what I mean?
Right.
So the things that, you know, the personal development, I mean, you know, I'm listening to or watching at least an hour a day, whether it's my headphones in my, you know, my ears, you know, something.
Right.
Whether it's training, whether it's more generic on, you know, just leadership or, you know, things like that. So, you know, just stuff like that is invaluable, that so many people miss, and I hate that they miss it.
I have a question before he wraps this up. So
Sure.
I know you said you're married. Does your wife help you build the businesses as well, or is it just you?
No, she doesn't actively build the business. Although we've gotten most of her friends as customers. So she has kind of opened that door several times. But no, she's just, you know, she's very supportive of, you know, because she knows, I mean, obviously she knows what the business does for us. And anytime I need to be gone all day on a Saturday at a training or with the team, you know, or driving to a meeting to help support the team, you know, she's all for it. But, you know, we have our level of sacrifice that we've agreed on and for our family. You know, obviously everybody can always do more, but, you know, with 4 kids, I mean, there's only so much that we're willing to do. But, you know, that's definitely been her role. It's not her thing, which is fine. So.
Right.
You know all about that, don't you?
Yeah.
So you said you listen to audios and training and stuff in your vehicle. So if y'all are together, does she listen to them too?
No, she likes to listen to music. Yeah. No, I mean, I wouldn't listen to them then anyway. It's normally, you know, just kind of on my own time, on my drive time, or, you know, just throughout my day, I'll just stick my headphones in my phone and just listen that way.
Right. See, I listen all day at work because I have a desk job. I sit in front of a computer all day. I can listen to audios 8 hours a day, no problem. But then when I get in my truck, I have podcasts that play and everything else.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to the radio in months. If we drive in my truck, we're listening to audios. We've got the boys listening to them.
I don't know if you've listened to Gary Vee, but the intro song, our little one, he like dances and does his whole routine in the back of the truck. Like, we know. We don't listen to video.
No, I'm a big Gary Vee fan. I've heard him speak twice in person at my company's events, and I've been following him for years. I've read all of his books, and no, I'm big Gary Vee fan.
Yeah, I like him. He's good stuff.
Yeah, he brings it too. He doesn't hold anything back.
Correct.
Right. All right. Well, before this cuts out on us again, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you for being on our podcast today. Really appreciate it. And like I said, we'll get this sent out as soon as possible. Oh yeah, you want to let everybody know how they can contact you? Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. They can just hop on at coachdavidlee.com. That's my website. So they can contact me there, phone, email. So yeah, we can. There's more about me there too. More about kind of my journey and my experience with the industry and my background. So they can contact me there, coachdavidlee.com.
Awesome. Well, I'll make sure we link that up. As for everybody else, we are out of here. We've got another podcast ready to be recorded tomorrow evening, I believe. I've checked the calendar. But that's pretty much it. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. And check out now on iTunes, MLM Unlimited. And check out the website at MLMUnlimited.com. And we'll talk to you all later. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.